Hello, and welcome to another video tutorial in AutoCAD. Today I will be showing you how to create a PDF using the Layout tab. Now there are multiple ways to create a PDF in AutoCAD, one being the basic exporting option. You can do that using the Model tab. But before we do that, we need to go over what is a Model tab, and what is a Work tab, and what is a Layout tab. By default, AutoCAD opens up to a black screen, similar to what you see here, black space. In the black space, if you bring your mouse down to the lower bottom portion of the screen, you will see two tabs by default. One will be Model, the other will be Work. Now, if you do not have those two tabs, you need to bring your mouse down to the bottom of the software, and where my mouse is located, you should see this little icon. It's called Quick View Layouts. Now, by default, when you open up AutoCAD, it will have this little icon will be black. You simply just need to right-click on it, and you will only get one option. Right now, I have multiple options, but if your icon is black, you will get one option, and that option will say Display Layout Tabs or something to that effect. Do that, and then you should get Model and Work tabs. If you have a template, then you'll have multiple tabs already embedded into the particular file. For this case, we're going to be concerned with Model, Work, and Layout 1 tabs. Again, in the Model or the Model tab, this is the black space. This is where you draw your stuff. You create your design, you do your documentation. Whatever you do, it's up to you. But I do not want you to get it confused with your Layout tab, which will give you more control over how you print to PDF and what scale you use, especially if you're trying to show multiple drawings onto one sheet and then print to PDF. Now, using the Model tab to export to a PDF, I can do that, and I run the risk of exporting every single piece of line work you see in the black space. To export out to a PDF, bring your mouse up to the A icon, which is also known as File. Click on it, go down to Export, and then go down to where it says PDF. When you do that, it'll ask for a name and a location in which to save it. You can control your display settings in Windows to control what you want to be printed or exported out to PDF. I do not want to do that at this time. Instead, I want to work with my Layout tabs. But before I work with my Layout tabs, I want to go over Work tab. Let me take this out really quick. Okay. So by default, you'll have Model and Work tab. This is your Work tab. It looks like a basic white piece of paper with two different views. One showing a isometric and the other showing more of a top plan, which you will see right there. Okay. Very carefully, I want you to zoom in on your piece of paper or this little white piece of canvas. Zoom in, and you will see three important lines. One is the border edge of your layout. The other is a dashed line. And the third is a blue connective line. Okay? The border edge is obviously the edge of the paper. The dashed line is the page extent to which you can place your text, maybe a drawing of some kind or a template. It is recommended that you do not go beyond this boundary line for the sake of the printer that you'll be using, especially when printing to PDF, because they will technically cut it off at that dashed line. The blue line is something new to you, or may not be new to you. It's up to you and how you feel using AutoCAD. This blue line is actually a viewport looking in to my Model tab. The viewport, or think of it as a window, a window with that's completely open. You can stick your arm through it, and you can work with your line work, and then stick your arm back and take control of the page layout. To do that, again, this this blue line is just your window or viewport into your line work. I can select it. I can click on these blue little boxes and move them around. And as I move them around, notice that it's kind of cropping the image out or my line work. It's because, again, it's my window into the black space or to the black hole. Okay. Now to actually zoom in on this particular drawing or to give it a sense of scale, click on that, move it around. Okay. I can double click inside to activate the viewport or the window. I'm going to double click right now. Notice that the window border, this window border is bold. Okay, that's when you know your window is activated and you can zoom in on some particular detail of your drawing. Okay, I'm going to try to fit all of this on the page. I double click outside to deactivate it so that I can zoom in and zoom out on the page. Double click inside to zoom in on a particular detail that I want to show. Double click outside to deactivate it. Remember to do this. If you find yourself zooming in on the entire page, notice that I'm about to go beyond the window frame. If I go beyond that and I double click inside, it will be almost impossible to get out of that view. So I discourage you from doing that. If you're trying to activate the window, make sure you're zoomed out enough so that you see the edge of your layout page, followed by the multiple viewports that may be available. Okay. Again, to activate it, bring your mouse inside the viewport window, double click it, and you can zoom in and out or pan around, or you can even go in there and begin to work on a drawing. Okay. So now this leads us to layout tabs, creating them, setting them to a printed PDF, changing the page setup size, the plotting, maybe the different pen styles, landscape, portrait mode, the entire logistics for setting up your page. To create multiple layouts, tabs, I'm going to bring my mouse over either the model or the work tab. It doesn't make any difference because I'm going to right click on them and then bring my mouse to new layout. Then I have to click on layout 1, and this is what I get by default. It is a 8.5 by 11 sheet in landscape mode. And when you create a new layout, a viewport window has already been placed in there for you, which is nice. Now to change this page setup, for you, it may be 11 by 17. So I'm going to right click, bring my mouse down to Layout 1 tab, right click on the tab, then click on Page Setup Manager. You will get this dialog box, and this is simply a gateway to get you to modify your existing page. So I'm going to click on Modify, and here mine is already set to Adobe PDF, which I prefer because I have more control and there's lots of different things I can do with it. But chances are you do not have Adobe PDF. You have something else that's already embedded into AutoCAD. And it's called DWG to PDF.PC3. Click on it. Every time you change your printer plotter name, you actually have different page sizes already embedded into that particular printer plotter. This will print to PDF. Notice that my page size, my options have changed as well. I have multiple options in here. If I were to go back to default, let's do Microsoft XPS. And I click on this drop-down menu. Notice how everything has changed. I have different options. Okay. I'm going to go back to my DWG to PDF. Okay. I'm going to scroll down this bar down to 11 by 17. Which one is up to you? You could do unz expand B. You can just do plain unz B. It makes no difference. Okay. Leave everything else alone for this particular exercise. I want you to bring your mouse up to the plot style table, parentheses, pen assignments. I want you to find where it says none, click that little arrow, and I want you to scroll down to AIA standard color. Now when you do this and you print to PDF, you should by default be able to print your entire work on that particular layout, whether it's a blue, red, green, yellow lines, they'll print color. If you use AIA standard, it will also choose to use color. Now notice there's not a monochromatic or monochrome, basically one color. That option is not available for this particular printing style. Which one it comes out to just black, it really depends, I guess, on a good given day. I do believe that AIA standard will print it to black, but if it doesn't, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to do AIA standard. Then I'm going to hit OK. But before I do that, I'm going to move this dialog box and look at my white canvas. It's still 8.5 by 11, right? I'm going to hit OK. See how it changed? Then hit close. Okay. Now I'm going to select my window, move those little blue handles, double click inside, and then I'm going to create a copy of this window. CO, enter, select the base point, and paste it. Then select it once, and move those handles up, double click inside, and pan around. I'm pressing down the middle wheel of the mouse and moving the mouse at the same time to be able to pan. And then if I'm happy with what I like, double click outside that window, click the window only once. Notice how I'm selecting it. I click it with the mouse, move my mouse to the left, then click the window. Then move these little handles over so that I have enough space there. Okay, then press escape. My views are set up to the way that I want them. From now on, you will also be required to insert your text, and one of them being your name. Remember, I only want to see Century Gothic font style. And a date, we'll do project date. And move it around. So that you may have to place your name over there, or you will be given a template where you have to modify it yourself. Okay? So now my layout tab has been adjusted. Okay. Go ahead and save it. And now simply hit Control P. Control P stands for print. And notice that my printing settings have already been set up. And at this point, just simply hit OK. AutoCAD will ask you, where do you want to save it? So I'm going to put it on my desktop, and then I'll change it, just that. And then hit Save. AutoCAD will print to PDF. And this is the end result. Okay. Now, for this version, I have produced by Autodesk Education because it is a produced by education product. The one that you're working in is a full license, so you should not have this at all. Okay. So I'm going to close that out. And that is the end of this demonstration. Stay tuned for the next tutorial, and have a good day.